What is up, friends? Welcome back to another episode of the You're Still Here podcast. I'm so thrilled you guys chose to come back so we can share all these great experiences, all the great things that have happened to us in between the last podcast and the current podcast. Like, I ended off that last podcast talking about that movie Night Swim, that I was waiting months, and I was waiting 6 months for this thing to be available for rent for $3.99 because they had the audacity to list it at $20. And by the way, I've already talked about that scam on previous episodes of the show, but I'll just repeat it quickly. Yeah, the scam refresher course. You can buy a movie for $20.99, and then usually you can rent it for $3.99. What the hell does buying a movie on Amazon mean? Oh, it just stays in the servers and I can rewatch it. And then what if I close my Amazon account? Are you mailing me a DVD? I don't think so. So that whole buy now on Amazon is an absolute scam. But yeah, not only did that movie come out shortly, it was like 2 days after the last podcast. Not only was it available for rent, $3.99 HD, but it was also available on, it was either Peacock or Paramount Plus. And yeah, that's right, I password share. And those are one of the ones I don't pay for, and I steal the password. I steal every password I can while I can, because I've been letting everybody know. They know that you're doing that, and it's only a matter of time before every subscription service limits the amount of logins. I've been telling people this for years, and now Netflix came down on us. Sunday Ticket came down on everybody immediately. They never let you password share. And now every last one is going to do the same exact thing. So I'm enjoying all those passwords while I still can. And I was able to watch that movie. And I'll get to movie reviews later on in the show, because we have more pressing topics, like being here in the month of May. This is typically one of the months that people are most excited about. I was thinking if there was a fantasy draft with months of the year, you know, like if you had to draft number one overall and you got to be in that month, where do the months rank in your fantasy draft? Like right now, you get to go up there. Roger Goodell is waiting for your pick. You guys know what my pick is. What did I already talk about on this podcast, despite it not supposed to be the first topic? I wasn't supposed to talk about Night Swim. I was going to mention it at the end, but immediately it came up. I got Freddy Krueger's glove over here. If you look around, you should know what my favorite month of the year is. And that's the worst NFL sound I could have ever made, but my draft pick is in October, is easily my favorite month of the year. Now, I want to give a caveat to the draft, and obviously this is a little more PC than Dave Chappelle's, the racial draft. But the month draft, there is one caveat. You're not allowed to draft based on your current work situation. Like if you are an accountant, April's the worst month of the year, March is the worst month of the year. I want to use the parameters that we all kind of just got out of college, and we're regular adults. Actually, that should be considered very irregular, being just out of college. But you're not limited by things like your job. You're a random guy, and let's just say you don't have to worry about money and things like that. Where do the months lie in your draft? So mine, I'm starting with October. That's my first pick. Why is that? It's not just Halloween and horror movies, but the weather is in the 60s. You can wear long sleeve. You can wear short sleeve. People are going out because at the end of the summer, people stay in go out mood. I've always surmised right until that weekend before Thanksgiving. So there's a lot of stuff going on. All the sports are on. You got baseball playoffs in October. Hockey starting up, basketball starting up, football is obviously in the middle of both college and regular season. So October is where it's at for me. And then obviously Halloween and horror movies are just an added bonus. After that, I'm moonwalking 1 month to September. Because in September, got to be honest, at the very beginning of it, you're still in the summer. Like Labor Day hasn't even occurred yet, and you can easily get those muggy, humid, disgusting days that really make you feel like you're just in the middle of August. But then again, once you hit the middle of September, you got the NFL back, college football is back, the weather's dropping a little bit, people are still going out a lot, and the cities usually have a lot of juice in them because during the summer, a lot of times people have summer houses, timeshares, and they do sorts of traveling. So summer, many times it's not as exciting as you would think, but September is a great month for if you want to be a social person. So I'm going October, September, and then after that, my third pick in the draft is right where we are right now. I'm going to go May. Same type of thing with the weather, except you're coming out of the cold and into the warmth, but it's not too hot. I mean, Memorial Day is the kickoff of summer, so you have that excitement, even though it's 58 degrees these days on Memorial Day. But you have summer kickoff, hockey playoffs, basketball playoffs. I mean, there is the NFL draft that just occurred, NFL schedule release. So many of the same factors apply here in May that do in October. So that's going to be my fourth pick. This is where we start to get a little bit tougher. I'm going to go backwards a month to April. Just like the beginning of September is a little too hot for my liking, the beginning of April, for the most part, many times is too cold for my liking because, as I've stated many times, opening day at Yankee Stadium, it's snowing. It's borderline freezing now. So that's my number 4. Then my number 5, this is where I'm definitely going to differ from the most of you. I'm going back to November. I'm going back to the fall. So fall, spring, fall. And after that, then I'm coming back to March. And this one's close. This one's very close. June, probably. March and June are very close. But that's where I go. I go from fall, spring, fall, and then I work my way towards the summer with July coming after that. Then I go all the way to December because that's how much I hate the heat and humidity of August. Then I'll go August, then January, and the worst is February. What are yours? Was this just the most boring part of the podcast? Or while I was saying mine, were you thinking about yours? Why don't you share yours and we can talk about who's right and who's wrong? Nobody cares. No, nobody's changing their mind. You could tell me anything in the world. Nothing's changing my mind about the middle. You're probably right now trying to sell me, summer's the... I think you've been trained to think summer's the best because you start off in school and then you always look forward because you have the summers off as a kid. And then because you're off, now you're going on summer vacation. So then even when you get older, now you just always associate summer with vacations and things being planned. In all honesty, summer is the worst time to go on vacation. It really is. If you think about things logically. Oh, yeah, I'm going to Florida in August. Here in New York, it's going to be 96, and in Florida, it's going to be 110. It's just humid and miserable everywhere. I don't understand traveling in the summer. Yes, the kids, that's when they're off from school. But winter traveling should be more expensive, in my opinion. That's when you want to get out. I don't know, not very practical to travel in the summer. Yeah, let's go to a nice, warm, hot destination. And we're going to be traveling from our really hot destination. I don't know, just some food for thought. In fact, I was actually supposed to go to Italy in August. I booked a trip to Italy in August. And I actually canceled it. Not because it's going to be too hot, even though that was one of the reasons, one of the more minuscule reasons. But it turns out that during the summer in almost all of Europe, everybody just does nothing and disappears, and they just treat the whole summer as a vacation. So they take our summers and they really max it out to the next level. There are many shops that aren't open, stores, and it's basically a bunch of wandering travelers around the streets of Europe. Or so that's what I've been told about many countries. So I'm going to Italy next month. I'm going to dust off some of my Italian and let you guys know how that goes. But right now we're here in one of the best few months of the year, May, and I mean, it is still pretty cold, but you guys know global shifting, my whole theory on that. It's one of the best months of the year. Some people were watching the NHL playoffs. I obviously got my NHL daily videos. Ton of people are enjoying NBA, NHL playoffs. Some people are getting ready for Memorial Day weekend. They're having barbecues. They're having parties. They're going to be drinking all weekend, doing all sorts of crazy stuff. Usually, that's when a lot of things are going on. But there are people doing other things out there. Maybe something that me and you would think is a little bit less exciting. I don't know if you've been watching the news, but apparently you want to know what's more exciting than watching playoff sports and going to huge parties and barbecues? Sitting in tents protesting on college campuses. That's the new big craze. Now, look, I don't want to sound like a bully from the 1980s. I don't want to sound like Biff Tannen, although, as you can see over my shoulder, I did buy his Pitbull hoverboard for the true bunkers here. But I'm going to have to sound like a bully a little bit. I mean, what kind of a loser do you have to be as a college kid to want to do that on a Friday night? I can only imagine when I was going to school in Boston, if someone was like, yo, Andy, you want to go to the Bruins game and then we're going to go to that BC party afterward? Nah, man, I can't. I'm going to that protest. I'm going to be sleeping in a tent overnight in the freezing cold. Yeah, why would I want to go to the Bruins when I can do that? I borderline don't believe it, but I cannot believe it. I remember college kids. I know them well. My brother just graduated from college last year. We were living together in Tampa. I saw college kids. I almost do not believe that there's just college-age guys doing that. You know what? It's a scam. I think that's one of the scams of the week, because I got another one for you. Cue it up. Scam of the week.
It's a scam.
That's a scam.
What a scam that was.
So this was all a scam, huh?
College-aged male protesters. I bet you there are some women out there, they got goodness in their heart. They actually want to protest the majority of these issues, whatever the issue may be. All right, this isn't about the issues that they're protesting. It's about protesting in general when you're a young college kid. I bet if you stick a camera on every single college guy at one of these protests that you're seeing on the news, I guarantee you, within 15 yards of him, you're going to see the girl that he stalks on Instagram every night. Yes, that's right. So much to the point where if you type the first letter of her name on his Instagram search bar, her name's the first thing that's popping up. That's how often that he searches for that girl. He can wipe his browser history clear. She's still coming up. He doesn't even know how to clear that level of cookies. That's how much he's stalking her. And yeah, that's what he did. He's on Snapchat. He's tracking this girl on Snap Maps. He sees, yo. Christina's at the protest. She's at the Yo, give me a flag. You got a flag? Give me one of those flags. I'm going to the protest. Then he stumbles into Christina at the protest. Oh, I didn't know you supported donkeys' rights too. I can't believe it. We have that in common. I never knew that. We should have talked about this. Oh, I've been about donkeys' rights for so long. In fact, I mean, you're looking at the biggest donkey in town. I mean, that's me. But, I actually learned that all these people, because like I said, I refuse to believe that it's all college kids. I mean, people in their young 20s, unless they're just true deadbeats now, you'd imagine young people want to have a good time. But I learned that the people aren't all college kids. Do you know who some of them are? Want to know who some of these people are? Confirmed. By who? I don't know. How do you confirm anything nowadays? But I didn't even know this existed. Some of the people there are professional protesters. Yeah, that's a career? That's a career. I've never seen that when perusing the Indeed job listings. Now, I never really checked the Indeed job listings, but I imagine that professional protesters aren't on there. Are they for hire? No matter what are they like the Golden Company from Game of Thrones? No matter what your issue is, they're happy to go and protest it as long as they're paid handsomely. Oh, they'll be angry at whatever you want as long as you pay them. They're a pro-protesters. Is that how they would be introduced on Jeopardy?
This is Jeopardy!
A professional protester from White Plains, New York. And that's actually where they come from, too, because that's what so many of these people are. They're the plainest, whitest people you'll ever see. Chase debit cards, MacBook Pros, they drink Starbucks in the morning, and their favorite show is Stranger Things. They're plain whites from White Plains. Seriously, though, these people, these protesters, they don't pass the smell test for me. I went into Grand Central Station. Huge protests are going on around Grand Central Station. You can look that up. Every week, a lot of these protests going on at Grand Central Station. I saw some of these protesters off to the side, I guess on a protesting break, as I was wiggling down to try to make a train. You should have heard these people's convos. Oh, you didn't know Harry Styles had a hair transplant? Oh, yeah, that's why he didn't do any shows for the last couple months. I saw a video on TikTok about it. That should immediately disqualify you from protester status. If you're a professional protester, every conversation that you're having in your life, it better be agonizing. I better walk by and I better hear something bad coming out of here. Something not nice is that you're about to be evicted, your family's barely surviving. You better have some bad combos coming. Those should be the protester conversations. No Harry Styles on TikTok.
Fans have gone wild over a grainy photo appearing to show Harry with a buzz cut.
I grew up with miserable New York pricks. I've told you about these people. They haven't said a kind word to me in years. Years. They treat everyone like referees. You do what you're supposed to do. You do a great job at it. They just say nothing. You make the slightest mistake. Oh, you should never have a job again. You can't be trusted with anything. That's them. Your day-to-day protester conversations better make our lives sound like a Disney movie. Can't be talking about Harry Styles' hairline because there is absolutely something scam-related. I just can't put my finger on it about a protest happening in a college dorm when in that same building there's a best-of-7 FIFA 2002 tournament going on with a bunch of friends. Something's off. I can't put my finger on it, but there can't be a best-of-7 in FIFA and serious issues being protested in the same building and it being legitimately authentic. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. If you're showing up with a sign somewhere, that sign better say Chuck's ass stinks or Goldberg eats corn the long way. And those are two WWF or WCW wrestling signs that I've brought up in the past. And now there is actually an Instagram page dedicated to funny old wrestling signs. And I was so happy to see Chuck's ass stinks on there because I'll never forget seeing that when I was a kid. I was like, who's Chuck? This guy? His platform, you know how people like use your platform for something good. No, I'm with that guy. I'm using my platform to hold up a sign to let my friend know back at home that his ass stinks. Chuck's ass stinks. That's my protest. So yeah, I am not a fan of these professional protesters. However, I did hear an alternate term that was used to describe these people that I absolutely can get behind. Professional protester, that sounds like a big loser. However, just a slight right click on Microsoft Word synonyms, an alternate term that I've heard used is professional agitators. Now that I can certainly do. And if there's good pay involved, oh, you can sign me up yesterday. I can agitate the best of them. I've probably already agitated you at some point throughout the early portion of this show. Oh, when I was bringing up what months I like, when I was skipping by, you were agitated. I could see myself going on a Hinge date. Actually, probably not. I heard that place turned into a fat camp. But let's say I'm on a Raya date. And she says, oh, I just graduated from physical therapy school. Now, I recently started working at a PT center. I'm really liking it so far. What do you do? Well, I'm your standard 9-to-5 professional agitator. Yep, if someone's looking for a prick to add to the bunch, you're looking at him. But not to you, of course. No, only to the people who deserve to be agitated. And who deserves to be agitated? I don't know. That's above my pay grade. I just agitate them. Who gets agitated? That's not for me to decide. I'm sorry, did that bother you? What can I say? Sometimes I bring my work home with me. Professional agitators. I can totally see that in one of these idiotic viral TikTok videos that they couldn't be more overdone, where somebody states their profession or what they do, and then in like a corny 1980s line reading describe one of the characteristics of that job. We're college athletes. Of course we don't care about our degree.
We're real estate agents. We're obviously going to interrupt a conversation at any given moment.
We're Knicks dancers. Of course we're legally not allowed to fraternize with the players but end up sucking half their cocks anyway. We're professional agitators. Of course we pretend to care about an issue just to hook up with the girl who actually does.
We're best friends. We're obviously going to split 2 plates at dinner.
I need to do that thing. I need to make one of those videos with those aforementioned miserable friends of mine. We're miserable pricks. Of course we're not coming to your destination wedding. Not a chance. We're miserable pricks. Of course we're removing ourselves from the group text the millisecond we see a new one. Now, fortunately, I will not be applying for any of those agitator jobs for a couple of reasons. Number one, and this is one of the things I'm most prideful about, I don't have a LinkedIn. I will die without one. So it's going to be hard for me to apply for just about any job. And number two, I refuse and will refuse and continue to refuse to write anything that qualifies as my actual scam of the week.
It's a scam.
That's a scam.
What a scam that
So
was.
this was all a scam, huh?
Cover letters. Cover letters are an absolute scam. I have to write this whole soliloquy about your company, which I really don't give a rat's ass about. I'm just looking for a job. I got to write this personalized thing on the off chance that you're actually going to get to my application, that the job hasn't already been filled, and then you're going to read this paragraph, yet I have to write this paragraph and sweat over this paragraph, all so you can never even read it as it got sent to your junk folder. And then I got to do that again for the other company and again for a different company. Just a lie paragraph after a lie paragraph, all of them never being seen. You can apply to 200 jobs before getting your first interview. What a scam. And I got to be honest, it was always understood in the world of acting and performing that unfortunately comes with the territory. You have to go on audition after audition after audition. Sometimes they hold auditions with the role actually already being cast. And you got to walk up there like a jerk off and hope that you gave them a good enough performance for them to consider you for something else. That came with the world of acting. But guess what? You get those acting gigs, life starts to become good pretty fast. If you get this random professional agitator job, what the hell happens? Nothing. You have a miserable regular guy job and you're one of these multitude of complainers on TikTok saying their degree didn't get them a high-paying job and blah, blah, blah. Getting a regular job has become worse than the process of auditioning. And now it can be argued that with technology, so many of the acting and additional auditions are submitted electronically. So many auditions are sent electronically, it's now harder to get the awful jobs, the professional agitator jobs. And this is pretty interesting, but those cover letters are absolutely a scam.
It's a scam. It's a scam. And I refuse to be scammed.
Now, this cover letter thing came up because a dear friend of mine sent me a job posting from the NHL of all places. And to her credit, she was 100% right. The NHL posted a job, it's probably still up. They're looking for someone who can help grow the NHL and connect with younger audiences. And if you guys have watched any of my NHL videos, I've already mentioned this a bunch of times. I've grown the game in certain communities more than Bettman or any other commissioner ever has or probably ever will. You want to know what the big problem is with that job for me? Well, obviously, you guys know, number one, I don't have a LinkedIn. But number two, do you know what happens when you look me up? You get two things that are associated with the NHL. One is when I ruined the Christmas promotion with the Bad Santas thing at the Nassau Coliseum. And the other is, a daily show affiliated with gambling on the NHL. So my two current NHL affiliations are profuse gambling and ruining one of their events. Yeah, I don't know if they're going to read my cover letter.
It's a scam.
So while on one hand, I kind of am the right guy for the job, on the other hand, yeah, not so much. Not so much. So in lighter news, as I mentioned before, I finally watched Night Swim, and it's so funny we're talking about this like it's the, Avatar sequel that we've been waiting years for to come out. But if you guys want my basic review, it's exactly what you would think. A trash horror movie that could have been worse, and on a random weeknight, I'll take it. I'll take it. In this movie, just, I'll give you the hurry up offense. There was a thing that was in their pool. All right, there's an evil thing in the pool. You could see it in the trailer. I included some of that trailer in the last video. And earlier in the movie, they move into a house, classic move into a house, and then something. But when they fill up the pool, they're doing the first pool session before things go wrong. And they were playing Marco Polo. Marco. So between Marco Polo, then the dad was making his kid he was throwing coins into the pool. And I kind of remembered that. People they would flip coins into a pool and you would go literally play fetch. And while I was watching that, I was we really are just idiots. We are absolute idiots. We flicked coins into a pool and made people go fetch them. You know who we're like? We're kind of like these people I've seen in this city, New York City, these zoo animals who were looking through that Dublin Portal at one another. I don't know if you guys see this. I don't know if you guys know anything. I don't know how much you know, but there was this portal inserted somewhere in New York City. I don't know where it was. And there was a live feed, and the other side was in Dublin in Ireland. So Ireland's looking into New York City, and New York City's looking into Ireland. You guys know how this one was going to go. You know how this one was going to go. First, somebody from Ireland puts his phone right up to the camera and shows the Twin Towers burning. I would argue that one's a little darker. Miserable Irish pricks. And then you knew it was only a matter of time before an influencer had to steal the show. This influencer just took off her shirt and revealed her nice, big, floppy titties. And she flashed the Dublin people. But the best part about it to me, and nobody's saying this on any of the videos, and by the way, I guess they've shut it down ever since. One pair of tits does it. Who cares? You can show the Twin Towers burning as long as you want. But there was like that Zoom sort of delay. Not really a Zoom delay, but like a news delay. It's like, let's go to Bob up by the mountain there. I don't know why Bob's up by a mountain. And then he's just kind of looking at you. And then the signal comes in. Oh, hey, guys. Yeah, I'm here on the mountain. And there was a way longer delay than that. It was like the Hulu TV delay. You have a friend who's watching something on cable, like one of these playoff games, and he's ruining every single goal because you're a full minute and a half behind on Hulu. That's what the portal was. There was like a 2-minute delay. And I was dying laughing. This girl pulls up her shirt, flashes them, starts doing this dance, but it looks like everybody's unfazed on the Dublin side. And then she's like trying even harder. And no one's even commenting on that. That's what gave me the loudest laugh, is this girl. It's just like she's not getting what she wants, but it's only because they don't see it. And I found that to be rather funny. So yeah, I'm going to Italy, by the way, in a month from now. Buongiorno, arrivederci. And as I was taking care of those accommodations, I saw yet another scam.
It's a scam.
That's a scam.
What a scam that was.
So this was all a scam, huh?
Hurry up, last one left scam. I'm booking a hotel room, and you expect me to believe that when I happen to search it, magically there's one left? Guess what happens? I buy that. Next person go, hurry up, there's one left. There are tons left. There are tons left. Just like there are of these episodes. And that's going to conclude this one. I hope you guys enjoyed this fun-filled episode of the pod. It'll only be a little matter of time before I get back to it. Hockey's coming to an end soon. You guys know how that goes. When hockey goes away, podcasts go up. And that's right around the corner. This year, I hate when people go, this year really flew. But it did happen to go fast. I will be talking to you guys in the next couple of weeks. Who knows what will happen between now and then? but I'll make sure to have a pre-Italy show. So be on the lookout for that. And how will you know that? Is very simple. You subscribe to wherever you're watching or listening to this show. You watch on YouTube, then subscribe and click those notifications, that bell that comes out. I don't know, maybe there's a way, if you don't like the hockey stuff, then, you can do that. You can subscribe to the podcast playlist. How do you like that? Those are the type of solutions I would bring to the NHL department when I take on that job. I embrace solutions. I am not a professional protester. But if you're listening to the show on one of the various audio platforms, the Spotify's, the Apple iTunes, what is it called? I know, Apple Podcasts. They should have just stuck with iTunes. Then also subscribe there so you know when the latest podcasts come on. Now I'm done talking. Too much talking. Already starting to feel the cotton mouth. I will talk to you guys next time. Enjoy everything that happens between now and then because we're in one of the best 3 months of the year. Take it easy.